So shall we start? Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Prakash, and I'm co-founder of BME Trust. We have an alternate school called BME in LBS Nagar in Bangalore. And I'm also co-founder of a private limited company into semiconductor services businesses. So I do it in parallel. Today, I would like to share some of my experiences, which I have tried in last 5-6 years as part of BME Learning Center. So I would like to begin with a question to all of us. We want our children to be independent, self-driven, proactive, take ownership, and then we have a list of things to do actually. So maybe there are some more characteristics that we usually look to develop in our children. Not only children, if some of us are in a senior manager level in any company, then we do look for such characteristics, personal traits. So my question is, how would it happen? How do we develop these things in children? So maybe I would request some responses, and then probably we can proceed from there. You can type in, or you can just say word or two. Okay, so I see by enrolling them in the process, by letting them do the work by themselves. Yes, any other responses? Yeah, so I'd like it to be a little bit of an interactive, at least in the beginning, and then we can go into the presentation mode.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Well, I am not sure for self-driven. That is the answer I would be looking for, and proactive. But for independent, I guess we let them do the work right from the early age. We let them manage their own things themselves. Let them be responsible, for everything they do right from a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the answers are what I'm looking for too.
Okay. Okay. I see one more response, giving opportunities to exercise these in their day-to-day activities. Yeah, okay. Like we teach riding cycle to them in similar way, we have to train them in other tasks, like provide support in beginning, and slowly we should guide them towards independence. Okay, great. I can already see many of you are in line with the thoughts I'm going to share in today's session. Any other response? Okay, so yes, you can keep thinking. So we will come back to this question towards end. Okay, so I will just skip answering this at this point of time. Then let me go to next slide. Now I would like to know something that you have learned or tried learning on your own with little or no coaching or no teaching from someone other than you. Yeah. So for this, I have a website link here. It's a Padlet. I can copy that into the, just a minute. Okay, I am copying it in a chat window. You can click on it and type in your answer. we could have done it on chat window itself, but I would like to do it in a little different way. So you will see a web page like this, and you will see a plus symbol at the bottom right corner. So you can click and then type in your answer. So these are the answers I'm seeing live. Okay, someone has learned cooking, someone has learned drawing. Many things, including studies. Okay. Okay, Korean language. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a response, Korean language by watching serials. Baking. Trading. House cleaning, gardening, taking care of pets, and doing homework. Okay. Illustrations using digital tools like Adobe Illustrator. Okay. Gauri, I think someone is not able to join. If you see any request to join, probably somebody needs to.
Are you able to see? Okay.
Yes, yes, sir. We are on track. So
Okay, sure. Okay, then I see one more response, learned to speak Kannada. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think this is good enough for now. You can continue to log in there. I mean, input your answer. Let me get back to, okay, Hindi speaking. Yes, okay. Okay. So, yes, I think I already see that, okay, some of you have tried some of the learnings on your own. I would like to share two of my stories. Actually, I learned cycling like on my own, and I also learned swimming on my own with little support from one of my relatives. So I'd like to narrate those stories, and then I'll proceed. So today we get cycles like this. We have support wheels, and then child can actually just start cycling with these cycles. But in those days, 20, 25, 30, 40 years back, when I was young, we didn't have this kind of cycles. So the common scene during those days was a cycle like this, and then someone is actually behind you, uncle, auntie, mother, father, and then we keep running, and then often we have some little falls here and there, and then we learn cycling. But in my case, actually, in one of the vacations, I think maybe I was in 5th standard or so, I went to my uncle's place, and my uncle was always busy, but cycle was there in house. And then I couldn't stop resisting to take it out and then try it on my own. And the cycle I had was something like this. Maybe I think these cycles are still around, probably not in Bangalore so common, but in village areas, they are still seen. And the way I tried learning cycling was something like this. Okay, I would hold the frame with the right hand, and then on left hand I would hold the handle, and then my left leg will be on ground, and then the right leg will be on the pedal on the other side into the frame. And then I would push a little bit with my left leg, and then I would take balance, and then I'll try learning to balance it and then learn it. And I did have some falls here and there, but I could manage to learn with a few days of practice like this, and I was able to learn like this. And until I actually grew to whatever 4 feet, 5 feet, my only way to cycle was to cycle like this, to put leg into the frame and then learn use cycle all the time. Yeah, and then it came to learning swimming, and I studied in Belgaum district, and then most of the time I was in some village area here or there, and we used to see open wells almost everywhere at that time. So we didn't have swimming pool those days, and these are the sources where we could actually pick up these skills. And usually in summers, people in gully would actually go, and then those who are familiar with swimming, they would do all the gymnastics, jumping, and then doing all that. But for those who are not, there were not many options. And in village we had these corn stems, yeah, and the green one on the left hand side, on the dried ones on the right hand side, and then you make a bundle of those corn stems and put them on your back. You tie them together and then tie it around your belly, and then you jump into the water. Yeah, and since it's like a tube, right? In today's equivalent would be tube. During those days, it was not easy to find a tube, or even I think you cannot afford to buy a tube. And I have also seen some children learning, like instead of using corn stems, we used to get this kerosene dabbas. So they will empty it, and then they will seal the this one, and then they will tie it on their back. Yeah, and this is how I started. And after I got into water, I was comfortable with water, and then I was okay, and then I was able to move around with this bundle of corn stems. After getting comfortable, after a few days, I removed few corn stems from that bundle, made it smaller one. Yeah, and then I was able to move around still comfortably. Then again it reduced. At some point, I could get rid of those constants. Yeah, and I was able to swim. And knowing swimming at that point of time is like being able to swim in the open well. And then at most probably if I go to my family deity, there is a river there, and then we take a dip and then probably go a little bit inside the river and then come back. So I never did any long-term, like long distance swimming at that point of time, and there was no need also. So I didn't know any technique per se, like freestyle and then breaststroke or anything. So I would watch in TV that there are multiple techniques, but I never bothered to learn them. I didn't feel okay. Maybe I would like to do this at some point of time. So I was happy with that, and when I started BME, or when I came to Bangalore, the very common scene in Bangalore is in a pool. We see a coach, and then there are a bunch of children. They are doing various warm-up exercises, and then they are doing a lot of drills like kicking, hand movement, and then synchronization and breathing, and then there's so many things happening. And then whenever I go to a pool, I was always puzzled. Okay, like okay, how do they really make children do this? Yeah, and when we offered uh, uh, swimming, I wanted to offer swimming as a elective course in BME. I usually we ask some experts to come, and like for any elective course that we offer in BME, we ask external people to come and deliver those courses. And then I was wondering, okay, well, for swimming, if we want to offer to children, what would I do actually? So if I ask professional coaches, I have already seen the scene in the swimming pool, and in BME we promote self-directed learning. So wherein children decide what they want to learn, and then when they want to learn, and how they want to learn, and at what pace they want to learn, and with whom they want to learn. So there's a lot of freedom that we give in BME, and somewhere when it came to swimming, I didn't feel like, okay, well, I can give this away to a professional coach for teaching children, teaching swimming. And this seemed to the idea of traditional coaching, conventional coaching, seemed to conflict with our idea of how we want children to learn something in BME. So then I was wondering, okay, is it possible to allow children to learn to swim on their own, just the way I did? And I just thought, okay, maybe let's give it a try. And in my childhood days, I used a bundle of corn stems, but here we have many options. We can use a swimming ring, or we can use arm floaters. Yeah, so we have two options. And if you really Google on this one, there is the professional coaching people are not very in favor of using these tools, these swimming rings and arm floaters. I don't know what is the reason, but somehow for me, I have learned with bundle of constants, so this should work for children here as well with swimming ring and arm floaters. So what I did was I thought, okay, we will go to a pool. We take the entire pool for 1 hour on alternate days, and then we just go with arm floater and then swimming ring, whichever children are comfortable with, and we just let them play in pool. So these were some videos that you can see. Yeah. So then they can try all kinds of gimmicks, whatever they want to, jump around. And see, this child is jumping ulta. Yeah. Then So they were allowed to do anything they want. So they can jump, they can ulta, sida, and then they can go dive. They can try anything, and there was no expectation that okay, they have to do a certain kind of exercise or any drill or anything like that. So I just kept taking them to pool, and then after maybe 7-8 sessions, I would just ask them, okay, so they were comfortable with water, and then they were able to move from one end to the other end of the pool. And I just asked them, okay, can I take out air from your tube? And I would tell them, okay, only how much ever you are comfortable with. Okay, so I would remove a little bit and then check with them and then say, okay, well, are you okay with this much, or can I take out some more air? And as and when I did that for next few days, so they were able to actually swim on their own, and they could get rid of these arm floaters and a swimming ring. And typically, I have seen in my experience of my doing this multiple times, about 15 sessions is what it takes for anybody to learn swimming on their own with this method. And without any exception, this happens. Yeah. So I will show some more. So I did some about 2-3 batches like this, and then children were able to float, and then they were able to move without any particular technique. But can they do long-term, long distance swimming? No, but they were pretty comfortable with swimming in the pool. So that was okay. And like till probably 2017, I was okay with this, and children were also not asking beyond that. Okay, they were happy after they were able to learn swimming. Until one day something happened. I wanted to do triathlon. I wanted to give it a try on completing a triathlon. I had done cycling, long distance cycling, and then I was anyway partly athlete from my childhood. So I would be practicing jogging and all often. So as you know, a triathlon consists of 3 parts of athletic games: swimming, cycling, and running. And there are 2 categories. There are actually multiple categories, but these are basic 2 categories. In the sprint distance, you need to swim 750 meters and then cycle for 40 kilometers. Sorry, I think it's reversed. It is cycling is 20 kilometers in sprint, and then running is for 5 kilometers. And Olympic is double. So 1.5, 40, and 20. I'm sorry, there is a mistake there. So I wanted to try. On one fine day, I got to know there is a triathlon event near Mysore, and it is 1 month away. And I thought I will give it a try, and I was very excited. But I didn't know how to swim in a pool for long distance, and I just knew, like as I explained earlier, I knew open well swimming, and I could manage swimming only just for maybe few minutes, not really for a long distance. And in my excitement, I went to a coach in nearby in LBS Nagar here. There is a small swimming pool, and I went to that coach very excitedly, and then I said, okay, sir, I want to learn swimming. I know basic swimming, but I want to try triathlon, which is about 1 month away. And coach said, 1 month away, and then you want to learn to swim for 1.5 kilometers. I wanted to give it a try for Olympic distance. I don't know how I decided to do that, but I wanted to do that. And then when he heard that, he was very sarcastic. He said, okay, forget it. You can't do it. And I was really, I was provoked in a way. And I could not believe, okay, how can he do it? How can he decide whether I can do it or not? I want to give it a try. I was not sure whether I will be able to do it. But when he said that, I really got provoked. And then I said, okay, I am going to try it. Now, with anyway, I said, okay, I'm not going to go to him. And I just happened to go to my brother's place near Hubli. And I went to a swimming pool there. I just, after this event, after this incident with the coach in Bangalore, I went for just a holiday, and then we happened to go to a pool there, swimming pool, and I just talked to another coach there. So there was another coach, and they said, okay, this is what is my situation. I know cycling, I know running, and I know swimming, but I can't. I'm not sure how to actually. I don't know any technique of swimming, and I want to try this. And then that coach was very friendly, and then he said, for learning, like for swimming for a longer distance, there is one technique, breaststroke technique. And if I will teach you this for maybe it will take about 15-20 minutes. I will tell you what it is, and then you can practice for 2 days as long as you are here. And then you can go back and then try it in a pool on your own. And and in 2 days, he made me realize what is a breaststroke technique. And I could do it for about maybe few minutes there. And then after I came back to Bangalore, I went to a private pool in an apartment, and I just kept trying that technique over a period of about 7 days. And after 7 days, I was able to swim for about half kilometer. And then I kept increasing the distance. On 11th or 12th session, on 11th or 12th hour of my practice, I was able to swim for 1.5 kilometers. And I was actually thrilled. I couldn't believe I could actually do it. And I went on to complete triathlon conducted in Tonnur village near Mysore in 2017. And this was in a lake, and from open well to a pool, and then from pool to a lake. And this is a big difference actually. So this lake was very scary, but after doing that much practice, I was confident. So they gave a practice time before the actual event, and I could actually get that confidence that okay, I can do it, and I could complete the triathlon the way I thought I would like to try, and then I was very happy. And after I did, then arrived the next challenge. So after I did this triathlon, BME children were very excited, and then they said they want to do triathlon. And I knew I had done it and I could do it. And but I was not sure like how will we actually take care of swimming part for this long distance for children. And I was not a certified swimming coach, and I'm still not a certified swimming coach. And but I knew children wanted to learn, and they were very excited. And I thought, okay, maybe I will extend my experience, whatever I learned on my own. I will extend the same thing to children as well. And we did some like same technique. So children, I took children to Kensington Pool in Alsur for a few hours. Like it's like 1 hour per day, and then over about 15 to 20 sessions. So as part of that practice, we had allocated about 20 sessions, and some children were able to pick up swimming in 7-8 sessions, and they were able to swim for about 750 meters. Some were trying sprint distance, and some were trying Olympic distance, and some were able to reach that distance in 15 sessions. Some took about 18, some took about 20. So everybody who were part of this project, they took maximum of 20 sessions to actually pick up this long distance, the breaststroke technique, and then they were able to do it. So this is something, okay, I think I can skip this. This is deeper side of the pool, 16 feet deep. And shallow side. Yeah, so for this triathlon, again, same lake, Tonnur Lake near Mysore. I think when I did, I could take that risk, and I was not sure whether I can take that similar risk with children, and I was very scared. And just for getting confidence during some time during the practice, along with two of my BME parents, we went for trial like means practicing in the lake actually. So all those children who were practicing for triathlon, so we took them there, and then this is a practice session there. Yeah. So this lake is we don't know the depth actually. So it's only at the near edge. I think there near the shore, you get to about maybe 4 feet, 5 feet, but beyond that, you don't know what is the depth of lake. And children were actually comfortable, and then we actually went on to participate in the final event. In Triathlon 2018, 12 children from BME actually participated in the triathlon event, and all were able to finish the one. So I think out of 12, probably I think about 6 or 7 took sprint distance, and then remaining took the Olympic distance. They were able to do that. And we went on to do like we again, there was next set of children who were interested in doing it next year, 2019. And during that time, again, we wanted to participate in Triathlon event in Mysore, but for some reason it got cancelled. And eventually, BME parents ended up hosting the event. Like we conducted the event in Prakash Padukone Center for Sports Excellence in Yelahanka side, and 18 children participated. They completed the event. Along with 18 children, actually 6 parents also were participated. Like they participated, and 3 parents did not know swimming. So even they learned swimming along with children when we were actually practicing. So this whatever self-learning, self-directed learning, or self-paced learning is possible still, not just for children, but I think for us as well. So I will share 2 videos of 2 parents sharing their experiences in next slide. So before I share about the parents' experience, I would like to share one more example. Okay, so this example, whatever I'm trying to share, like, okay, there are some things we can actually learn on their own, on our own. Typically, cycling is found like, okay, well, we cannot learn it without others' help. And then swimming also is like we think that, okay, it is not possible, but it is actually possible. It is actually really possible. And then in my experience in last 5 years, I can say, you give me anybody, whether it is child or any adult, okay, and then in 20 sessions, I will ensure that, okay, you learn. When I say I will ensure, my job only will be to take you to the pool and then let you learn swimming on your own. I can do that. So I wanted to give one more example of learning to play keyboard. So one of the children tried to learn keyboard on her own, and typically in a musical world, mostly everything is driven by like learning through a guru or a coach. And learning, yes, we do see some children or adults trying some random musical patterns on table and then other vessels and all that, but it doesn't go beyond that. But this this girl from BME tried learning to play keyboard, and I have a video of she's sharing her experience. Yeah, so this is just a fresh video which I took just for this webinar.
Hello, my name is Astra. I'm 18 years old, and I'm going to do a very quick look back at my journey with playing the keyboard. First time that I ever played anything on the keyboard was the national anthem, and that was because my friend, she owned a keyboard and had been to classes, so she brought it out and was playing, and she explained that there are 7 notes, the 7 white keys are C, D, E, F, G, and this is how you play the national anthem. And we were both trying to play together on two different octaves of the same keyboard. And so that was the first time that I played. From there, I moved on.
I'm not able to hear.
Sorry.
I'm not able to hear her talk. Like
Oh, okay. I'm so
first
sorry.
minute. Yeah.
Sorry, just a minute. The earlier video which I had showed, that you were able. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Astha. I'm 18 years old
Can you hear now?
and I'm going to do a very quick look back at my journey with playing the keyboard. The first time that I ever played anything on the keyboard was the national anthem, and that was because my friend, she owned a keyboard and had been to classes. So she brought it out and was playing, and she explained that there are 7 notes. The 7 white keys are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and this is how you play the national anthem. And we were both trying to play it together on 2 different octaves of the same keyboard. And so that was the first time that I played. Up from there, I moved on to playing toy keyboards and toy xylophones. I would mess around on them whenever I got time because we owned this one toy xylophone. And after a while, I spoke to my parents and we finally decided to buy a Yamaha keyboard, and that's where it all started. So initially, my challenges were very different from what they are right now. Looking back, I would think that they were really easy things, but at that time, it was really difficult. So I guess because my keyboard was new, or I don't know, but I decided to never write down the keys or the names of the keys on the keys. So that actually really helped me because I got very familiar visually, and but at that time it would mean that I spent hours just figuring out which keys to press. And another difficulty was how long to press those keys for. So I'll do a quick example to illustrate this problem. So I'll do a quick example with happy birthday, and it could go something like this. But it could have also been, and I'm playing the same thing, but the duration for which I'm holding each key is different in both. So there were many such challenges, and they seem trivial now, but they were major at that time. Like my hands were not big enough to reach out, or I couldn't switch between chords because there were multiple keys and my fingers weren't giving equal pressure, or then that I couldn't synchronize my left hand. So when I'm playing, my right hand is going right and my left hand also wants to go right. It does not agree to going in an opposite direction or doing something else. I was struggling with all of that. And over time, as I kept playing, it's not like I had a fixed schedule of practice or anything. Whenever I wanted, I would play. But over time, it all slowly started getting easier and easier. And then, but by the time that gets easier, there are new challenges that are the new daunting major thing. So I had some interesting discoveries as well. Like the first time I realized I can play blindfolded, it felt so empowering because my fingers knew what to do. They didn't need my eyes to guide them around, and that felt was a big confidence boost. And another such discovery was that I could mess around and create musical pieces. This was a relatively recent one, that I could also play songs like by ear. I could hear them and then arrange them onto the keyboard. Earlier, I used to always admire people, that these YouTube channels who are giving me notes where I'm getting these things from, they are translating music. Like, they're listening to it and they're writing it as keys. So I want to be able to do that, and now I can, and that was another yay moment for me. I would also like to go over some theory. So initially, I took down notes of what each key is called. I didn't know the black keys names, and I was really shocked when they could be sharps or flats, and the same key, based on which way you're going, is a sharp or a flat. So such things were all that theory had for me initially, and slowly it evolved to me wanting to learn chords, or then I wanted to know more about sheet music, and I learned what the lines and spaces are called, and what it means when there's a different clef. And then now I can read sheet music, and then slowly it takes me about 2 hours or so to be able to play what I'm reading. So now my new goal is to be able to read as I play as I read, and I hope that I'll be able to do that soon. But so theory, I've also been, I didn't realize it, I didn't consciously do it, but I've also been picking up, slowly trying to explore more theory. So the music playing in the background is something that I made and played, and I would like to end with a simple one line bit of music that again I made.
Yeah, so that is her journey. And this girl, I think now, I think it's 7th year, she's still continuing to be learning the keyboard. And some of the stuff I had asked her to include, I think she missed, is I asked her, like, okay, how many songs she had to practice until she got a confidence that, okay, she can comfortably play a keyboard. And she said, okay, about 15th song. And the song she where she got confidence was, I think, one of the English songs, Faded or something like that. And she continues her journey on that. Yeah, and she has still not gone to any coach yet. So I don't know, maybe in future she might, but right now, as of now, she has not yet gone. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So now, so I was telling, some parents also participated in triathlon, and then I thought, okay, it's like, okay, if I don't want to share only the children's story, but I also want to share some adults' story as well, so that it is motivation or inspiration for all of us to give something, like some, we can try something on our own. Yeah. So this is Kamal. He's a BME parent, and I will let him talk now.
Hi, I'm Kamal Raj Gupta. So I was 37 and I didn't know
You are able to hear it? Yeah.
swimming. The only swimming I know was something called floating. You use the wall with the leg, push it, and you float as much as you can. That's it. But anyways, in my kids' school, BME, they were talking about doing a triathlon, and my daughter, 10 years old, was interested in participating in it. And Prakash from BME said even adults, parents can actually give it a try. I thought it's a good opportunity for me to learn swimming. So I thought I'll do the sprint distance of triathlon, which is like 750 meters of swimming and 20k cycling and 5k running. And cycling and running, I'm very comfortable with them. But swimming, I didn't know at all. So I thought I'll do sprint distance. But one day when we were doing the practice for running, Prakash said that I can even do the Olympic distance, which is like the next distance, which involves 1.5 kilometers swimming and 40k cycling and 10k running. I said, Prakash, I don't even know the basics of swimming. I don't think I can do Olympic distance. He said, no, Kamal, not like that. I've already tried it with other kids. 7-8 sessions, you will be able to reach a point where you are not afraid of drowning, and then after that it will kind of, take off. I said, okay, he has tried it. He was confident. I'll go with his belief rather than me believing in that. And he said that we'll be practicing in Kensington Pool, which is a proper competition pool in Ulster with 50 meters long and all that, and very deep at one end. I thought, let me get a head start, right? And so I found a swimming pool near my home. I went for 7 sessions there, which is only 5 feet. I'm 5.5, so I knew I would not drown there, right? So I was that unsure, right? I went for 7 sessions, tried few things, watched few YouTube videos, and nothing worked really. I was not able to swim at all. I spoke to Prakash. He said, come and try breaststroke, and it'll be more easier to learn that. And I tried it. Theoretically, I saw YouTube videos, and theoretically, I knew what is breaststroke, and I was able to do breaststroke, but I was not swimming with it. Right, the distance I was covering was because of the time-tested technique called the wall push technique. I was again using my leg and pushing from the wall and covering distance. And one major problem was I didn't know how to breathe while swimming. Bring up the head, breathe, and then it was just not coming at all. I saw others doing a technique called bobbing technique. I tried that. Nothing was working. So I reached a point where I said to myself, maybe my lungs is not designed to do swimming. And, I thought manufacturing defect, or I thought maybe I'm only cut out to be a terrestrian and not, amphibian. Anyways, but I kept at it. Prakash encouraged me to keep at it. Thankfully, motivation was there. Kensington Pool, all the kids are coming, couple of parents coming, and Prakash had put a schedule. So I was not missing the practice. I was just going and trying. And around 13th session, I was able to cover like 10-20 meters, figured out breathing, and I was able to do only 10-20 meters because breathing was not still comfortable, right? And Olympic distance is 1.5 kilometers swimming, which means I need to do 30 laps of 50 meters. I'm not even doing half a lap still, right? But see, in another 1 or 2 sessions, I was able to do a lap. The next session, I did 7 laps. The next 10, 13, 15, 18. Almost from the point of me struggling to do half a lap, which is 20-25 meters, to doing 18 laps, it only took 7 days or 10 days like that. The overall journey of me not knowing swimming to me doing the triathlon only took 1.5 months actually. Maybe 20 sessions of trying the practices, right? So I did, triathlon, 1.5 kilometers, 30 laps in 1 hour 21 minutes, right? So it's a practical proof that, the natural intuitive learning happens without any trainer, without any coach, right? With tips here and there from Prakash about, maybe focus on one thing at a time and things like that, right? It was almost like a switch was turned on after a point where I was able to cover that distance, and that I was able to do it. Just like Prakash told Kamal, after a point it will be like a turning on a switch. You'll be able to swim. And that's exactly what happened. Thank you.
So, so here is the table of his practice sessions. So session 1 to up to 10, I think the distance he could cover was 0, almost 0. And only in 13th session, he was able to do about 20 meters, and 15th session about one lap, about 50 meters. Then it was like 7 laps, 10 laps, and 13 laps, and then 18 laps. And then actually the full distance he did only on the day of actual event. So that's how the exponential, the curve in learning that happens. So if we are focusing too much on the initial period and then give up, I think then we are losing out on this learning actually. Yeah. So one more experience. She is another Bhimi parent.
Yeah, I didn't know how to swim before. Only.
Okay, I think we are. Time is getting, so maybe I can skip this video. It is about 2 minutes, but I think I will skip. But I can show the difference between, like, okay, the other parent had a different story, and then this parent had a different story. So she was able to do 1 lap on 9th session, and then 3 laps on 13th session, and then 15th session about 5 laps, and then on 20th session she was able to do about 15 laps, and then she did sprint distance, which is about 750 meters. So she could do as well actually. Yeah. So now the question is, cycling is okay, swimming is okay, keyboard is okay. What about studies? Maybe reading, how about writing, how about maths? Yeah, so is that also possible? Like, okay, there is a natural learning possible in these cases as well. Yes, from BME experiences, we do have some examples there. I will not go into the details there, but some children, like in BME environment, actually, we do not ask children to learn to read or write, and we will not even motivate them to actually read and write. And we wait for them to wait for children to get interested in reading and writing. And we have children who have learned reading at the age of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 also. So until 7 they are not reading, and then suddenly we see one fine day they've gotten into reading many things. But in the environment in BME, we do have sessions like where some faculty read some stories to some children, and some children are actually moving around in the BME, and sometimes they are listening to what is the stories being read, and sometimes they're also observing what faculty is reading, and then if hand movement is there on the words being read, and children seem to pick up the words as patterns, like probably an image, actually, not as a combination of letters. So somehow they keep looking at the patterns, and then they see that, okay, oh, this word is table, this word is apple, and this word is and. So they keep memorizing, or the patterns gets formed in their I think brain, and at some point they see that, okay, well, they can actually read them, and we don't know actually how they are able to. So we don't follow this phonics method at all in BME, but we see that, okay, children are able to pick up learning at some point as late as 7 years and 8 years as well. Yeah. So similarly for writing as well, we don't train children to write spellings, correct words, right? So they keep talking, and then they keep reading. Like after they learn reading, sometimes even without reading also they start writing. So we don't go in that particular order per se, like, okay, oh, first they should be able to speak and then read and then writing. So we might see a skipping of the step of reading. So we have seen children trying to write spellings of table like TBL or TABEL, right? So they make their own spellings, and we don't correct them. And only when they show their writing to someone else, they realize that, okay, oh, other people are not able to read what they have written, and then they say, okay, oh, table is actually written as TABEL and not TBL. So the correction will happen on their own actually. So they will decide when they want to do that correction. So, but yes, writing is also possible to be learned on their own actually. So it's just that it will take time, and we need to be patient about that. So if we have an expectation that, okay, we need to learn this reading and writing at a particular age, then probably it is not possible. But if you are able to wait for children to get interested in them in these skills, they will pick up these skills. Yeah. So I have one image of one child's writing. See if you can make out. So there are some words written here.
I come to BME.
Yes.
I took craft kit. Huh?
Yes.
Oh, very beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was first. You got it. Second, and then third is, I really like BME. Look at the spelling, RYLY. And even the letters are also flipped. Some of them are flipped. So even this also we don't actually correct, and they will figure out actually. So when they see others writing in a different way, they will figure out, and it takes its own time. So we don't again end up like, we don't actually correct that as well, and we don't associate this with any learning disability per se. So all children are normal, and then they're perfectly all right. They will figure out when to change the flipping of the letter and then correcting the spellings. It all happens, and we don't need to really worry about anything like, okay, oh, if my child is writing spellings like this, and then they are writing 5 letter L or digits or ulta, then we get worried. So actually there is no need to worry. They will correct it themselves. That is possible. Yeah. So now the question is, how does this really work? So actually there is no clear answer I can actually give, and all that I can say is it is possible. And different children, different adults pick up these things in a very different way. And just one example, if I want to give, there was one child, the swimming example only, again I'll give. He was practicing for triathlon, and till 18th session, he was not able to swim. He was not able to float. He was not able to move on his own, actually. And he kept trying it. So he would not miss the practice session. So he would keep coming. And on 19th session, he was on the 16 feet of the Kensington pool. And I was actually really scared. I was looking for him in the shallow end of the pool. And I see that, okay, this fellow is on the other end, actually. So it just happens. There is a switch, or there is a flip that happens at that some point of time. You just need to keep your practice and then the focus on learning. And I think it's willingness to learn, and then you will figure out. So it happens in each kind of learning. Whatever you want to learn, it happens. And for each child, it is different. For each adult, it is different. The way I showed, for 2 adults, whatever I said, one adult was able to do 1 lap in 7th or 8th session, but other one took actually 13th session. So we just need to be patient with ourselves and with our children, and this actually really works. Yeah. So I just wanted to like, when I'm sharing these stories, I'm not necessarily promoting or discouraging any of these things, like whether we should do teaching, or whether we should do go with no teaching, or whether with coaching or no coaching, or should I follow this method, follow that method. It does not really matter. So if I want to learn on my own, I can give it a try. And at some point, if I feel, okay, I want to be taught by someone, I can go for that. And then after some time, maybe I can decide, okay, oh, now I have picked up some things from a teacher, and then I can actually explore further on my own. So this combination can happen. So all that is important is, if I want to learn something, then I need to be clear on what I want to learn, and then I can decide about, okay, now these days with the technology, we have so many options. We have Coursera courses, we have so many online courses, there are so many online teachers available. Yes, all that is available, but we can also remember that, okay, we can also learn some of these things on our own with very little or minimal coaching and teaching from others. And it's all about constructive learning, like having room for constructive learning, non-linear learning, and ownership of learning. So when I say constructive learning, it's like if I take the swimming example, you be at the swimming pool day in, day out, and then figure out what it means to float, what it means to move in the pool from one end of the pool to the other end of the pool, and then what it means to breathe inside water and then breathing outside water, and what it means to explore different swimming techniques. Yeah. So you figure out, you construct the learning for yourself. Yes, of course, you can take help of others, but unless you construct it for yourself, it won't stay with you. One. Second, yes, it might stay, but the idea is to actually have that confidence that, okay, oh, I can actually do it. Yeah, I can figure out on my own. I can do it actually. Yeah, and also it's about non-linear learning. So the examples what I shared about swimming, some were able to pick up learning to swim at around maybe 7 and 8 session, and some are able to pick up at 13th session. Some are able to pick up at 18th session or 19th session. Yeah, so you will eventually able to figure it out. You will be able to crack it. So you will be able to do it. So the thing is, it's non-linear. So it's not like, okay, oh, today I will do 20 meters, tomorrow I'll do 40 meters, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, it's 60. It is not that. It's actually, it's an exponential curve. Yeah. So you start initial effort. There is a lot of effort in figuring out. And then once you figure out, then you are able to actually take off. Yeah. So now, having said all this and shared my experiences so far, the question could be like, how do we actually encourage such learning for our children? First and foremost is you have to trust that it is possible, that children can figure out on their own if they want to, and when they want to, they will figure out. It can take longer, yes. If I put a child in regular swimming sessions, typically I have seen children learn swimming in 10 sessions. Yeah. But I also have seen either they learn or they will never go back to water for the rest of their life because of their experiences with coach, and then the pool, and then the drowning, and then various experiences that they go. There is a lot of trauma that can happen for some of us actually. So not all children. Some children are naturally are able to pick up the cues and then the instruction from coach, and they are able to figure it out. But some of us are not. We are not able to do that, and then we end up with some experiences which deter us to go back to water for the rest of our life. I've seen that. And yes, but with the technique what I have tried, I have seen, okay, no matter what, okay, it cannot be more than 20 sessions. Okay, yes, some will pick up in 8 or 9 sessions, some will pick up in 15 sessions, but everybody will pick up in 20 sessions. So if you can be patient about how long it takes and not compare with others how fast they are learning, then you're okay. And you need to provide some support for children to learn on their own. Some example is I will share about this. Like the support I gave when I took children to swimming pool from BME. These some of the children which we tried. I drove them to swimming pool. So I would take my car and then they will go in my car, and I am with them in the pool, but I will not do. I'm only there to look after the safety. Okay, if anybody is drowning, so then I'll go and grab them if there is something like that. And on the way to pool, when I'm driving, actually I do a normal conversation, a casual conversation with children, and then I'll ask, okay, what they want to try for that day. Okay, someone will say, okay, well, I want to get comfortable with water, and I'm just going to get into water and then just float, and I'm not going to do anything beyond that. And somebody who is comfortable with floating with tube, they say, okay, well, I would like to jump, and then I would like to jump in front way, and then maybe ulta, and then I would like to maybe give a dive. And then some children will say, okay, well, now I'm comfortable floating, and I want to try moving from one end of the pool to the other end. So in a normal conversation, in a casual way, I just ask them what they want to try for that day. And then that sets in as a trigger for them to stay focused on what they want to try. Not necessary that, okay, I will not track anybody, whether whatever they say, it is with them, and I will not track whether they are trying whatever they said they will try. And all that I do is on the way back to BME, I do a reflection conversation, and I just ask them, okay, how did it go? And some will say, okay, oh, they tried whatever they had set as a goal. And then somebody says, okay, I got distracted, and then I saw my friend doing this, and then I started doing that, and which is fine. So I still don't have any problem with that. So the only is that conversation is important. Okay, so goal setting and reflection, and then they will get on to that track of trying on their own. And after a few sessions, I would check with them, are they ready to deflate tube as much as they want? So that conversation with them, like, okay, oh, I will take out air only as much as you want. That trust is required. Okay, I should not be fooling around with them. Like, okay, they say, okay, take out this much, but I will take out a little bit more than that. So I have that constant check with them. Okay, are they comfortable? And then if they're not comfortable, again, I blow it back, and then I let them continue on that. And then I also brought some activities like we got some ball and they can just play. And when we introduce such activities, the focus is on ball and not on fear of water or drowning. And then indirectly, they are also trying to move from not being stationary in one place. And then they start moving around, they figure out how they want to move. Yeah. And then at an advanced level, I also used to take coin and then drop into the water, and then children would actually go and actually get it from the floor of the pool. Yeah. So then after they get on, like get comfortable with floating on their own without tube, and then they are able to move from one end to the other end of this one, then I actually introduce the breathing technique and then also a breaststroke technique. So this is a simple, these two things, and then I allow them to practice, continue to practice for longer distance swimming. Yeah. So this is an example of, okay, how you can support. So whatever you want to support for your children, a natural way of learning. So some of these, something like this, you could actually try and then allow them to try. Yeah. Then okay. So then I would like to also share about one more kind of support. So here, this is a very different example. I take some math problem solving session for children, and here I do not expect them to know any mathematical concepts. Some children know some concepts. Some are at a different level. Some are at in a beginner level. Some are at a advanced level. But in my sessions, I don't have any pre-criteria that, okay, they can come to my session only if they know certain mathematical concepts. So I'm developing a set of problems. I'm continuing to add to the list of my problems, which I give them. And if it is difficult for them, then I have a variation of that problem, which will bring down the level, like the difficulty of the problem to the younger children who do not know those concepts so easily. For example, there is one problem on the screen. There are two friends, and if we multiply their ages, we get 45. And then if we add their ages, we get 14. What are their ages? This is one of the problems that I've given. So if you remember these concepts and then you have been familiar, naturally you would say that, okay, well, we have two numbers, like, okay, I can think of 15 and 3, which give me 45 when I multiply them. And then I also have 9 and 5, which gives 45. But I see that, okay, if I add 15 and 3, I don't get 18, but I get 18, which is not what I want. And 9 plus 5 will give me 14. And this is the answer, like 9 and 5 are the ages of those two friends. Yeah. But when I gave this example recently to one of the children, like in my session, one child tried something else. So this is the method she tried. So instead of starting as a product of two numbers, she tried this combination. She started with 1 plus 13 gives me 14, and then she multiplied 1 into 3 is 1 into 13 is 13. Then she kept trying that, increasing the first number, 2 plus 12. 3 plus 11, 4 plus 10, and then 5 plus 9. And that's how she arrived at that answer. Yeah. So this is another way. So it does not matter whether I try the first way or second way. And what I wanted the child to try was, like, give it a try. Okay, it's like there is a this problem requires addition, subtraction, and maybe tables to an extent. But the crux is trial and error method. Yeah. Whether you follow the first approach or the second approach, it is about trial and error method. It's just that the second method, the child tried, is a little bit longer. The first approach, the product method, is like, okay, I'm getting the answer in second step, but here I'm getting in the fifth step, but I can still get it. So it does not matter. Now, only thing is I just vary the problem difficulty and I give a different combination. So when I say, okay, oh, the product is 112 and then the sum is, say, age is 22. If child continues with that method, then it will take longer and then child gets frustrated. And then at that point of time, I say, okay, well, maybe I can actually look at the product method, the factors of that number, the product, and I also introduce long division. So some children might already know long division, and then they understand what I'm talking about. And for some children who do not know, then I introduce that part. And then if there are some children who are familiar with this and they're able to crack this example also, this variation also, then I have another variation. So instead of sum, I give difference. Yeah. So similarly, again, this can be solved with the long division method. But look at this variation. The same problem, but the variation is with a little bit difficult numbers. Now, 1624 is the product, and the difference is 30. And this becomes little tedious even with the product, the factors method, yeah, the prime factors method. So now, again, here it involves trial and error method. It involves knowing the factors, knowing the tables. It involves all of that, and it really pushes the child's thinking to one extent, to further. Yeah. So usually I stop at a point where children get frustrated, and then we revisit this maybe at a later point of time, and then I leave it at that point of time. The idea behind this is to actually approach math from a problem-solving perspective, and then really try to think, okay, how do I solve this problem? Okay, there is maybe a default method is try the method, but if I know some concepts, I can actually solve it faster. So I keep introducing different problems, and then children are actually trying. Now, this particular problem, if I give this problem to maybe a 9th or 10th standard child, then there is a different method. This can be solved with a quadratic equation method. Yeah. So some problems can be solved with very basic knowledge, and then some problems can be actually attempted with certain concept. So if you know concept, then you can actually solve it very easily. So now at the same time, some children who are not very familiar with multiplication, and then they are not able to multiply two numbers quickly, then I talk about, okay, oh, this is where actually you need to practice tables. So we don't get into practicing tables like in BME. We don't really ask children to really practice tables just like that. So of course we do tell them, okay, there are something called tables, but we don't expect them to really memorize and all that. So when we are solving repeated problems like this, they know that, okay, oh, I have to multiply these numbers often, and then it is better if I remember the tables. And that's how we see that, okay, children actually get into learning to memorize tables. Some children again take more time, less time, like the way I shared our experiences about swimming. It will take some time in math as well. The idea of sharing this is it's like, as an adult, I can bring in different problem solving techniques, and then actually give that support to children to try out solving these problems in their own way, and then you can share your experience, and then how children can solve a little faster after they give it a try. Then when they try it on their own, and then when they listen from your experience, and then it can actually add to their confidence. So that brings to the last one, like, you can give support, and you can also be a role model, right? You can just learn something on your own, and then you can keep sharing with your children. Yeah. And if you learn something this year, then maybe you can give it a try to learn something else, and that itself will serve as a lot of motivation for children also to try some things on their own. Yeah. So now this is my last slide. The question which I asked in the beginning, we want our children to be independent, self-driven, proactive, take ownership, and then there are a number of many more characteristic personality traits that we want them to pick up. How would that happen actually? So My answer is when we give them opportunity to learn on their own and to allow them to try and fail and then let them try again. Yeah. And yes, and it's really possible that, okay, people and children can learn on their own. And when they really do, I have seen the confidence level that it it gives the boost to their self-confidence. It is actually, it's immeasurable actually. So it actually percolates from whatever one area of learning to other areas, and actually it becomes the maybe, if I want to say, snowball effect, right? So it's like you learn and then you get confidence and then you move on to some other area and then you learn something else there, and then it keeps building. And that is, I think it's very, very invaluable in life, as per my view. Yeah, so with that I come to end of my session. And I heard there were some questions when you had signed up for this webinar. So maybe some of those are answered as part of this webinar. And if there are some questions still unanswered, I can pick up them now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and all the experience. It was lovely hearing you out, hearing your experience on learning and how it process. And it was really thoughtful of you to share your experience and your knowledge with us. Yeah. And I also thank everybody present here to join in for this webinar and participating in it. Yeah, my heartful thanks to everyone present here.
Any questions anybody has?
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I've overshooted the time so much. I thought maybe I will overrun by maybe 5-10 minutes. But
No problem. It was insightful. Anybody has questions?
Yeah.
Prakash, I would like to hear you, from you. The
Sure.
self-directed learning looks, very empowering. I love the point that initially it is slow. We need to be patient, and then the switch happens. That is such a beautiful thing. Initially, only there's so much of judgments pass, and it really slows us down. So when we are supporting the self-directed learners, so how do we? Of course, there is a self-motivation, but how do you keep the momentum? Like, what if they let them on their own and that there is a loss of momentum, or we keep supporting them, but they might be really wanting to know it, but then they don't get great insights and they lose momentum. What do we do? Like, support them back? How do we do that?
Okay, in BME, we don't bother about this momentum actually. So as like if we have a like say elective course, and then we say, okay, we have 20 sessions and we are it, and then we have seen, okay, children miss some days of practice, and it's okay for us. And some children come to pool and then they sit and watch other children. They don't want to practice. That is also okay. Yeah,
Right.
it's all fine, because they are actually figuring out, okay, now some children, like, they are not comfortable getting into the water. They want to see how others are actually getting into the water, and then are they able to manage, and then they make up their mind to, okay, oh, now I will get into the pool. So
Right.
it is okay. It's we don't need to really bother about
There is
the
no
moment.
milestone or goals to reach.
Yes,
It is a
yes,
self goal and it can always change. Goal setting
Yes.
based on reflections, they might decide to continue or
Yes.
just observe, right? Okay.
Right.
Just wanted
And
to-
all that is, like, if somebody wants to discontinue, or maybe they want to take this one, we have a conversation basically on why they want to discontinue, why they want to this one. And after that conversation, they might again come back, or they might decide to move on for now. And that's okay. We are okay with that. And then we know, okay, they will come back.
Yeah.
We are very sure about that. We will they will come back. In fact, I can share one example from one of our again experiences. One child practiced for a cycling project, and we practiced for 3 months, and then we were to start for the, like, it was a 1-week long trip. And previous night, I get a message from her that, okay, I don't want to come for this. Morning 6 o'clock is our starting, and then 12 o'clock in the night, I get a message and she's not coming. And then I said, okay, fine, no problem. But then after 2 years, when we introduced this triathlon, she was the first one to actually come and say, okay, now I want to do it. Now I'm ready. So it's okay. It's like we don't need to really worry. It's there. And as I told, it's like it's just about that the non-linear curve, and maybe there is a break at this point of time. But when I come back later, there is a platform. So we don't need to really worry.
Exactly. Yeah, Monisha has told me so much about this triathlon. It's like kids are crazy about it. Like they just really get involved with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Prakash. I really, a lot of insights. I'm feeling really good about it. Like respect for the learners is what we really want. And I could get that from your insights. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity here. I love preparing for this. This was something I did not think what topic, but 1 month back when your team approached and they said, okay, well, let me share this, because this has been there on our mind, and only our BME parents know about whatever we are doing. I thought we should share this experiences to outside world, and I'm so happy that you gave a platform, and then I'm able to reach to.
And Astha's experience was so good. Astha, very clearly, she described her journey, how she figured it out. And when they are self-directed, they have so much clarity in the process,
Yes.
which I used to mug up, and I never got the clarity why I got this. But these children have it because they really went through the complete process by themselves. It's registered much better in their minds. Yeah,
Yes.
thanks a lot for this.
Actually, I just wanted to add on to that. Actually, Astha has last year produced a movie. Actually, she went on to she wrote a script out of a novel that we read, and then she made a script. She coordinated all the shooting. This all happened during the pandemic. So she wanted to do it as a play, but then the pandemic happened, and then she still wanted to continue. So she gave a script to all the characters, like the actors, and then they shooted at their home, and then she stitched all the videos, and then she has made a full-fledged movie.
Can we watch it?
Yes, it is on YouTube. It is available. I can pass on the link.
Yeah.
And we premiered it in Lahe Lahe last year.
Okay.
So she spent about 10 months to do this, all driven by herself. So there was again no coaching, or she did not consult any producer or any director or anything. Everything she tried. She used all the open source software to edit the video. Everything she did with almost zero cost. She produced it.
Amazing. They will cherish all this throughout their life. Yeah. Otherwise, the learning is so structured, and it creates a lot of stress at later age. And the children don't know why they are so stressed about their job. Everything is because of those learning experiences so stressful. Everything becomes stressful in the later years. And this is so good. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Nice.
Thanks, Prakash.
Yeah.
Thank you, one and all. Okay, I end the meeting right now.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you.